Vigil, Ante, and the Vigilante Antics by BelleAmant. Read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 28. Class Rep. Ochako Uraraka walks into Class 1A with excitement, looking forward to whatever the world has in store for her today. It's only the third day of school, but so much has happened already. First came the quirk apprehension test, with her homeroom teacher scaring the wits out of her by threatening expulsion. Then there was the Heroes v Villains training yesterday, so who knows what will happen today. No matter what, Ochako is sure that it'll be interesting. "Good morning, Uraraka-chan," Tsuyo greets. "Morning, Tsu-chan," Ochako returns, practically bouncing over to the green-haired girl. "How are you?" "Well," Tsuyo says with a shrug. "I wonder what will happen today." "Me too. I hope it's nothing too stressful, although I guess we had to learn how to deal with stressful situations." They talk for a few more moments before the warning bell rings, and the girls separate to go to their respective desks. Ochako takes the remaining few minutes as a chance to glance around, looking at her classmates. It's only day 3, but already she finds herself noticing little things about them. They're all so interesting. She can't help but find her eyes drawn to some of them. She hopes that she'll be able to befriend them all. Most of them. Some are too explosive for her tastes. The second bell rings, and their homeroom teacher shuffles into the room. The class immediately goes quiet.
"Good, you're learning."
Mr. Aizawa says with a slight huff.
"Now, I probably shouldn't have put this off for so long, but I didn't really care that much."
A hand raises in front of her, Ida already bursting to ask a question.
"What is it?"
Mr. Aizawa asks. "What exactly have you been putting off?" Ida asks, and the teacher blinks slowly.
"I was about to say that,"
he says, and Ida shrinks into himself slightly.
"Anyways, you guys have to pick a class representative, and a vice representative as well."
"Oh, I can do that!" Ashido shouts, throwing her hand into the air. "I think I'm most suited for the task, mon professeur," Ayama adds. "Ha! As if you're good enough! Please, if anyone can be the rep, it's me!" Bakugo exclaims proudly. "Bakugo, you just give us a bad rep," Tsuyo points out bluntly, causing a few others to snicker. "All of you, I have a suggestion," Ida shouts, waving his hands, and the class quiets. "If we are to be representing our class, then we should have a vote." "But won't everyone just vote for themselves?" Tsuyo asks, and then adds, as blunt as ever, "We've only known each other for a few days. How can we know who's good for the job?" "If there's someone who's truly good for the job, we will know and vote for them," Ida declares. "We'll know that they're truly worth the position if they're able to gain multiple votes." Nobody has any arguments against the idea, so Ida turns to Mr. Aizawa. "Aizawa-sensei, what do you say?"
"I don't care how you choose,"
Mr. Aizawa mutters, zipping up a sleeping bag, which, by the way, when did he even get back into it?
"Just get it done before homeroom ends."
And then he's dropping to the floor, dead asleep before he even hits the tiles. Huh. Slips of paper are quickly passed out, and Ochako shifts in her seat, pencil hovering over her tiny, blank slip. "A vote, huh?" Ochako frowns, tapping the eraser of her pencil against her cheek a few times. Who should I vote for?" She looks around the room for the second time today, taking in her peers, trying to think about the little she knows about them. Ida would be good. He's really passionate about upholding the school rules, and seems to be good with leading. She could see him doing well with the position. But he might be too much of a stickler for the rules. She'll consider it. Tsuyo would be good too. She's rational and says what's on her mind. And she's Ochako's friend, so the brunette feels compelled to vote for the froggy girl. But sometimes being so blunt can be bad. A few more options flew through Ochako's mind. Yarozu seems smart, but she had remained silent as the class broke out in excitement. Maybe the girl doesn't want the position? Ochako doesn't know enough about the Norite to know if her responsible demeanor would be stretched too thin by the additional task. Ayama seemed really interested, but, no. He's too focused on himself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Ochako worries that he may be too focused on his sparkliness to remember all of his duties. Frowning, Ochako's eyes dart around the room, looking for her answer. They land on Midoriya. Midoriya is interesting. He seems rather shy and timid at times, and seems to prefer sticking to himself and his notebooks, especially when he's caught off guard. But during the activity yesterday, well, Ochako isn't blind. She saw how Midoriya just changed, becoming more confident in the blink of an eye. He didn't hesitate in his fighting. He kept track of his plans, and he kept going the whole time without any difficulties. And then afterwards, he was willing to talk to their peers about his ideas, even if he was still curled in on himself and not looking up from scribblings. She doesn't know much about him. She hasn't gotten the chance to, in all honesty. He seems nice. Really, really nice. But he's always around Shinzo. And Shinzo doesn't really seem to let anyone get too close, if his reaction to Bakugo needing the grenade is any indicator. Seriously, Shinzo got Bakugo to punch himself. It's not surprising that Ochako is a little intimidated when they stand side by side. To be fair, Midoriya seems to be the same. He stands taller and always seems to be ever so slightly in front of Shinzo when someone approaches, like he's blocking the newcomer from getting too close. They guard each other. Ochako doesn't know why. She doesn't know why Midoriya and Shinzo feel the need to guard each other so fiercely. Doesn't know if Bakugo was a special case, or if Ida, who seems to already know them, is the exception to the rules. She doesn't know much about the boys, but she thinks Midoriya would make a wonderful leader. Nodding slightly to herself, Ochako writes down, Midoriya. She wonders who Midoriya will vote for. Izuku got 4 votes. Izuku got 4 votes. I didn't even vote for myself. Izuku whispers as he stares at the totals. He won with 4. The second highest was 2, and that was a tie. It seems that we tied, Yaoyorozu says calmly, looking to Hitoshi. Hitoshi, for his part, just shrugs.
I have no clue who voted for me,
Hitoshi admits, and Izuku watches as Yaoyorozu's eyes widen at the admission. Did you not vote for yourself? She asks, voice soft, and Shinzo shakes his head.
I didn't even want the role.
Hitoshi mutters under his breath, and only Izuku hears it. Same, he thinks, but Yaoyorozu speaks before he can voice his sentiment. I see. Standing up, she announces. I voted for myself, and as such, I should only be counted as having 1 vote. Shinzo is the true winner of the role. Oh shit! Kaminari cries out. We've got the coolest class reps.
Language.
Aizawa scolds lazily, sitting up. Izuku can see the moment that Aizawa spots the names on the board, because he even stands to look at the board more easily.
You guys chose Midoriya and Shinzo.
Aizawa drawls.
You chose them as the representatives.
His eyes flick away from the board, focusing on the class, and Izuku can feel the stiffness in the room.
Why even?
Aizawa starts, and Izuku feels the same. A single glance back at Hitoshi proves that his friend seems just as lost.
No, I really don't want to know what you kids were thinking. Just get ready for your first class. I see you all later today.
Then, he's gone, leaving the room without a second glance. Smart decision, honestly. Izuku wishes he could do the same right about now. But no. Instead, he gets a sit in class, taking notes and wondering who the hell voted for him. He finds out at lunch, which is an entire ordeal of its own. Tena invites Izuku and Hitoshi to sit with him once again, to which Izuku readily agrees, because, really, Tena is the only person that Izuku and Hitoshi know, and he's not sure how many people he will get to know, so he's going to hold his new friends close to his heart. Izuku smiles as he follows Tenya to the same table as yesterday, slipping into the exact same spot on Hitoshi's left, who sits at the very end of the table. Tenya sits across from him once again, and Izuku likes this. It's only the 3rd day of school, and yet they're already forming habits. It's simple and mundane, but that's more than enough for Izuku, who always seems to have a routine in place and likely always will, even if his routines are legal, less than ideal for a hero student. His routine is shaken ever so slightly when the 3 are joined by a few others. Well, not even a few. A good portion of his classmates walk up to their table, and names bounce around Izuku's head as he tries to recall just who they all are. Kirishima plops down on Izuku's left, and Ashido steals the spot across from Kirishima, while Kaminari slides into the spot on Tena's left. Finally, Asui sits down next to Ashido, tongue poking out ever so slightly as she nods at Izuku in greeting. Ashido is not so quiet on her approach. Hey! Ashido says loudly, letting her tray drop onto the table. We never got a chance to really talk so far. I'm Mina Ashido, and you're officially one of my favorite guys here. Thank you, Izuku says. I'm Izuku Midoriya. Oh, honey, we already know that, Ashido says, waving a hand as if dispelling the words. Between you and me, I'm so glad that you beat Explodidon so quickly. That was killer, especially since you're the one who used his quirk to your advantage. Izuku feels his face heating up from the praise, and he lets out a sheepish laugh. Oh, thank you. I was just trying to play my part for the team, and the quack thing was just me trying to get a good score, you know? Yeah, but that was like the best way to do it, Kaminari declares. That took balls. Bakugo looked ready to kill you afterwards.
He always looks like that, I think,
Hitoshi says, causing Tenya to sputter.
Shinzo!
Tenya shouts.
It's very rude to say such a thing.
Okay, but he isn't wrong, Aishido points out, and Tenya freezes before chopping his arm through the air.
Still, it is impolite to discuss such a matter. I get what you mean, man, but you're just being honest here. Bakugo seems a little rough around the edges, but I'm sure that there's something more underneath, yeah?
Kirishima shrugs.
I don't know, that's just my guess.
My guess is that Midoriya is my favorite too, Jiro says as she joins the table, sitting beside Kirishima, and Izuku jumps. I am? Why? Wait, you don't have to answer that. That sounded really vain. Oh man, I'm sorry. That move during the last test, Jiro says with a smirk. Best thing I've ever seen. Oh, that was nothing, Izuku says, and Hitoshi lets out a snort.
Izu here is awful at taking compliments, if that wasn't already clear.
Hitoshi says, and Izuku pouts. Toshi, I am not.
Yes, you are.
Hitoshi cuts him off, smirking at Izuku. Izuku huffs and pouts when Tenya speaks up.
I have to agree, Midoriya-kun, that you do seem quite bad at taking compliments. I hope that you will learn to appreciate yourself more as you fill in the role of class representative,
Tenya says, and Izuku jumps onto the change of conversation. Right, speaking of that, who on earth voted for me? I just want to talk about the poor life decisions for a moment. Tenya blinks in surprise, shifting his glasses.
What do you mean, poor life decisions? I voted for you because of your obvious skills in leadership.
You fool, Izuku says. I can only lead like one person, and that's Toshi.
That's not really true. You just haven't had the chance to show off your skills.
Hitoshi teases, and Izuku frowns. You said as if you voted for me, Izuku says, suspicious, and Hitoshi smirks.
Oh, I did?
Hitoshi shrugs.
I didn't know if you'd actually get it, but I thought it'd be funny.
Toshi! I also voted for you, Asui admits. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders and the ability to work around obstacles. I believe Uraraka-chan also voted for you, Karo. Uraraka? Oh, the gravity girl. Why? I am flattered that you all voted for me, except you, Toshi, because I know you're just trying to cause me suffering. But I really don't think I'll be all that good at the job. I mean, I'm just trying to focus on my future right now, and I don't know if I have enough time to devote myself to everything as well as I should. I'm sure you'll be great, Midori. Ashido cheers, slamming her hands on the table, and Izuku blushes at the sudden nickname. If anyone can do it, you can.
I am curious,
Tenya says abruptly, and Izuku looks at his friend.
If you only got 4 votes, then who did you vote for?
Oh, I voted for you, Ida-kun, Izuku admits. You seem like the kind of guy who'd be good at this stuff. Tenya seems moved by the response, but Hitoshi speaks before the taller boy can.
Wait, if you voted for him, who voted for me?
Hitoshi asks, confusion evident.
I figured that you voted for me in the same way I did for you.
I didn't think you'd want the position, Izuku says, narrowing his eyes. So, I decided to be nice and not vote for you. Hitoshi chuckles nervously at the statement, avoiding eye contact.
Tokiyami voted for you,
Kishima says helpfully.
I saw it on a slip.
Well, that's one, Hitoshi mutters. I also voted for you, Jiro says with a smirk.
What? Why?
I heard you mutter that you didn't want it, so I thought it'd be funny, Jiro admits. Also, you're like my second favorite guy for making Bakugo punch himself. That was pretty hilarious.
Okay, that second part is valid.
Hitoshi relents, and the table breaks down into laughter. And then, faintly, Izuku hears someone say, Holy shit! Right behind him. Whipping around, Izuku looks behind him to see some random student pointing at him and shouting, I found the UA cryptids! The what? Izuku whispers, and then feels his body tense as half of the cafeteria seems to surround him and Hitoshi in the blink of an eye, staring at them both in awe. What the fuck? A girl breathes out. You actually go here? What year are you in? Someone asks.
We're first years,
Kishima says, smiling at the crowd.
First years? But we saw you here last month,
one shouts, and Izuku can't even tell who is speaking anymore.
We thought you were a ghost or something.
Izuku feels Hitoshi lean closer, pressing their shoulders together in a silent form of comfort.
We aren't? If you're first years, where did we see you last school year? Ah, straight into the territory that should not be spoken of. How nice. That isn't something we're willing to talk about. Izuku gets out, which only seems to hype the upperclassmen up even more. They start asking more questions, and each additional rumor causes Izuku's tablemates, friends, to crack up even more, to the point where even Tenya is laughing, the traitor. Izuku wishes that he had his soundburst shoes on, but no, Aizawa said that those could only be used during training exercises. Just when hope seems to be lost, however, a familiar blonde pops into view, one that Izuku hasn't seen in a while. Midoriya-kun, Shinzo-kun, Togata exclaims, and Izuku feels himself relaxing ever so slightly. I haven't seen you two in ages. How have you been? We've been well, Togata-senpai, Izuku says, ignoring the crowd. That's great to hear. Have you enjoyed UA so far? Yeah, the first few days have gone well, Hitoshi says, causing an onlooker to shout. Hey, you've been here for over a month! Good, my friends are waiting for me, but I had to see what all of the commotion was about. Pausing, Togata asks, Do you want me to make them leave? Please, Hitoshi mutters, and Togata nods sharply. Of course! Turning around, he places his hands on his hips and shouts. Now, is this how you should treat your underclassmen? It's only their third day. It's not polite to scare them so much. You should know better. Izuku watches with wide eyes as the crowd disperses, and then Togata walks away with a wink and a wave. Finally, left alone, Izuku and Hitoshi turn back to face their classmates. So, Kaminari starts slowly. You're the UA cryptids? Izuku resists the urge to faceplant into the table. He doesn't even want to know who started the nickname. Luckily, the conversation is cut short without warning. Unluckily, it's because an alarm starts blaring, startling everyone in the cafeteria. What does that alarm mean? Kaminari asks, and Izuku winces. I think that's level 3, right, Toshi? Izuku asks, and Hitoshi nods. What does level 3 stand for? Tenya asks, and it's an upperclassman who answers. That means someone has gotten past the defensive barrier, she shouts. There's been an infiltration. All students, please evacuate at the nearest exit and head to the proper site until further notice, comes from the PA system, and Izuku watches on as the students around him all try to leave the cafeteria immediately, causing a massive crowd to form. They're all panicking and don't even know who got in, Izuku thinks, and glances out through a window. He blinks in surprise as he sees nothing more than the media, which, didn't someone complain about their arrival earlier? He thought that they weren't able to come onto US campus, however, due to the gate. Someone must have broken the gate, Izuku realizes, and then the second realization hits him. Nobody else realizes that there's nothing to panic over. Izuku turns around, looking for a solution. His eyes catch on the emergency exit board, where everyone is still jammed together. Someone could stand on the board with ease, Izuku thinks. If I could get up there, or get someone else up there. His eyes catch on Tenya, the taller male, easily spottable. Perfect. Ira-kun, Izuku shouts, getting Tenya's attention and Hitoshi's as well. It's just the press. We need to make everyone aware of that. Right, but how should we do that? Tenya asks, right on board with the statement. If we boost you onto the exit sign, do you think that you can get everyone's attention? Izuku asks, and Tenya nods. Great. Hitoshi, think we can throw him high enough? Hitoshi sighs, eyes filling with exasperation, but he nods. We can get him the height. He'll have to use his quirk to get the momentum. Good enough. Okay, when we throw you, activate your engines. Got it. Izuku and Hitoshi crouch down, letting Tenya step onto their cupped hands. Working in sync, they stand up quickly, forcing their arms up and tossing Tenya into the air. The engine ball fires up his quirk, shooting through the air and crashing into the wall. He lands on the exit sign and turns around right away, facing the crowd. Everyone, we all need to settle down, Tenya shouts, and the students quiet down. The infiltration is only the press. We have no need to panic. This is simply a false alarm. The words seem to do the trick, and Izuku watches with fascination as the students disperse, either going back to their tables or just heading back to class. Izuku, Hitoshi, and Tenya decide to do the latter once Tenya gets back down to the floor, heading back to 1A. Kirishima immediately shoots a thumbs up to Ida when they enter. That was so awesome, man! Kirishima cheers. You took control of the situation so fast. Thank you, Kirishima-san, but it was only due to Midoriya-kun's quick thinking and his and Shinzo-kun's leverage that I was able to do anything at all. Still, Izuku says, an idea forming in his head. You are the one to calm everyone. I can't control an audience that easily.
In fact, smiling brightly, Izuku looks around the class. I've decided, everyone, as my first and final act as your class representative, I'd like to nominate Ida-kun for my position. The decision is met with acceptance, praise, and a muttered,
"Oh, thank God,"
from Aizawa. Tena smiles stiffly, bringing a hand to his heart.
"If that is truly what you wish,"
Tena says,
"then I will do everything that I can in order to uphold the standards of such a position."
The class cheers the navy-haired male on, a chant of "Exit sign Ida" quickly spreading, and Izuku can't help but giggle. A giggle that forms into a full-blown laugh as he sees Hitoshi turn to Yaoyorozu and say,
"Can I please nominate you? I really don't want to be the vice representative."
Yaoyorozu just blinks and nods, adding a flustered thanks after a moment. The class notices this and cheers her on as well. Izuku smiles at the new representatives, glad that they're happy with the roles. "At least it's not us," Izuku says, and Hitoshi agrees with the sentiment. It's a good day. It is not a good day when Izuku and Hitoshi see the remains of the gate. They wouldn't have seen it normally, always taking the back entrance because Yamada drives them all to work, but their guardians are in a meeting over the break-in, and the boys decided to look around while they wait. "It's nothing but ashes," Izuku comments.
"No one in the media would have a quirk like this,"
Hitoshi says.
"And they got on fast, so there's really only one option."
Tomura Shigaraki, quirk, decay. Turns anything to dust so long as he has all 5 fingers on the object. It's not a good day, and somehow Izuku feels as if there will be a worse one very, very soon. Ooh, we got foreshadowing to the USJ in the last part. Ooh, I'm excited about that. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 28 of Vigil, Ante and the Vigilante Antics, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!